I already know better. 24K, got nothing on me. Make you want it forever. Tryna play a game, but you don't play for keeps. Messing with a girl from the east side, yeah. Kinda love you, wanna build your dreams on, yeah. But I already know better. I'm a go-getter and I got me, I'm good. I'm head over shoes on hardwood. For me, you know I wrote the book. I'm moving along from somebody wrong, so go ahead. Tell me all the ways you miss it. How you want me back in your bed. But I'm not around for hearing you out. I gave you too much honestly, and you closed the door. Now you're calling me, but I don't need you anymore. Yeah, I already know better. 24K, got nothing on me. Make you want it forever. Tryna play a game, but you don't play for keeps. Messing with a girl from the east side, yeah. And I love you, wanna build your dreams on, yeah. But I already know better. I'm a go-getter and I got me on my own, and I don't waste any time chasing a ghost who don't try. I'm top of the shelf, but you help yourself to somebody else. It's too late, don't really care about all of your mistakes. You were out of your league in the first place. Not even surprised that you let me down, down, down. I gave you too much honestly, and you closed the door. Now you're calling me, but I don't need you anymore. I already know better. 24K, got nothing on me. Make you want it forever. Tryna play a game, but you don't play for keeps. Messing with a girl from the east side, yeah. Kinda love you, wanna build your dreams on, yeah. But I already know better. I'm a go-getter and I got me. I miss that sexy smile, looking forward to see you. I hope I will lose control. Love you every night, no checking the time, 'cause I was loving you all night long. I can let you go, baby, it's the right thing, I already know. And you feel it, I really do understand the truth. We can't go any road. Need you now. I'm your queen and you the king right now. It's a kingdom, let's play it how you like. How does it make you feel? Or you wanna change or be whatever, watch you like. We can dance, you got to move tonight. Stars are watching us in the sky. I wanna last it forever. It's a sexy smile, looking forward to see you. I hope I won't lose control. Love you every night, no checking the time, just us loving you all night long. I can let you go, baby, it's the right we already know. And we feel it, I really do accept the truth. We can't go any road. Need you now. Let's change the clothes we have a drive. You know how you make me feel alive. Come close to me, I'm obsessed with your different kind of style. Don't you ever leave, step by my side. On my head, 'cause I don't have much time. I wanna hug you forever. Mr. Sexy Smile, looking forward to see you. I hope I will lose control. Love you every night, checking the time, 'cause I'm loving you all night long. I miss that sexy smile, looking forward to see you. I hope I will lose control.
All right, we here. We are here. Let me get my screen together. All right. Yeah, so we should be good. Excuse me. So welcome everyone. This is live market observation. Mark Fuller, TeamAlliance. We're going to be taking a look at the charts. So if this is your first time here, you can feel free to ask whatever questions you so choose. And your questions will be answered The platform that you're looking at on the screen, this is the NADEX platform. This is the platform that we use to trade on. And NADEX makes it possible for us to capitalize on our understanding of the market through the use of an instrument that is unique to NADEX called the binary option. The binary options on NADEX are not the traditional binary options that some of you may have heard of before in the past. The ones that you might have seen on overseas brokers. These options are not that. This is a different instrument altogether. And these binaries really give you a level playing field in the market because you can capitalize on the way that you see and understand the market. For us, that means that once we can recognize stability of market movement, we can anticipate a winning trade on the platform. That's important. Right now we're streaming live on 3 platforms. We should be on YouTube, excuse me, Facebook and Twitter. So whatever platform that you're on, please make sure that you like, thumbs up, or heart the video. If you're on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the bell notifications. The same thing if you're on Facebook as well. Turn on your bell so that you ensure that you get live notifications anytime I come on live. If you're on Twitter, give us a retweet. And whatever platform that you're on, share the video. All right, that way more people have an opportunity to come on with us live. If you're not already a member of the public TeamAlliance Facebook group, be sure to join that group as well, because that will ensure that you receive a notification no matter what. Because for whatever reason, anytime you get a notification from the group, you'll get it. It goes through. Sometimes on these platforms, you don't get a notification for whatever the reason might be. But you will get a notification no matter what from the group. All right, so be sure to join that. So if you're on YouTube, you'll see the link for it underneath the video in the description box. Same thing on Facebook. All right, it's in the description underneath the video. All right. All right, so let me take a quick look, see who we got in the building. We got Reginald. I see Jay Carly, Melanie, Tavares, Ray Young, Charles, Alvin, Stacy, Maui Jeff, Orion, and Jelani. All right, cool. So what I did tonight, instead of giving a recommended trainer, I just did a live observation. So tonight the live observation will be the recommended training. So for anyone that misses this, when this is over, I'll mention that in the group chat as well, so that everyone knows. This will be what the recommended training is for tonight. So there's actually a couple of things I want to talk about. One of the main things is clusters. And I'm actually going to do an actual live training on clustering in particular, because I want to dig a little deeper into clusters so that you guys have a clearer understanding of the barriers and what they mean. You guys will hear me mention these things. Some of you don't know what I'm talking about because you're not in training with us. But for those of you who are in training with us, you know exactly what I'm referring to when I say range, when I say barriers. Like, you know what I'm talking about. As a matter of fact, this green box that I have on the platform, this is a part of that, because it's a tool that allows you to recognize the range, the barrier, and the clusters on the chart visually. It helps to block in where the actual market is at the time so that you can see if the market is presenting that. If the market is presenting a range, a cluster, and a barrier simultaneously, the market is stable. If the market is stable, that would only, or I should say, that would be the only time that we would enter into a trade if one has been presented to us. So basically, stability is the key to winning the trade that you enter. And RCB is the key to stability. RCB being range, clusters, and barriers. So, and even if you're not in training, like, this is a good educational thing that I do through the observation, like when I'm on here live like this, because you get a glimpse onto the NADEX platform and to the simplicity of these options that we trade. Now, the options is very simple to trade. Like, it's nothing complicated at all about these options. Matter of fact, let me, while we're kind of talking about the line in the sand, which is what I'm going to talk about now. This is helping you visually right here to see that the market is beginning to create a barrier. Now, for anyone that's new, what this little green box is doing is helping us to see where the candles are that are relevant for the binary that we're observing. So right now, the binary that we're looking at is the 2083 strike price, which is the top line here. And let me get some more of my drawing tools just to make this a little easier for everyone else who may not be in training with us to understand. Now, you see where I just put this green line? Maybe I'll make this purple. Should I make it purple? Just keep it green. Let me see if I like it. Yeah, I use purple. All right, so you see where this purple line is? Now, the purple line is showing you visually the strike price that's relevant for the moment in time that we're observing. So right now, just now, we were observing the 10:25 p.m. strike, the binary. Now, notice where I have the box. I have the box actually isolated over the last minute of this previous binary and the one before that. So there's two candles that I got the box over. And if you notice, both of the candles, if I move the box out the way, look at where the candles are positioned. They're both positioned where? They're both positioned underneath the purple line, right? So that purple line represents the relevant strike price that we should be looking at the time. Just like when I move this box up and I put the box over the area where these candles are, now this draws your attention to them same two candles, those same 2 minutes that we were looking at. It also allows you to see that the candles are inside the box, meaning that the candles are underneath the top line, right? They are underneath this top line. So if they're underneath the top line and they're inside the box, then the candles being inside the box means that the relevant line is the top line and the candles are underneath that. So anytime that you're looking at the candles inside of the boxed area, the box is drawn simply by taking the top strike and then the one underneath that, which is the bottom strike, and boxing in both top and bottom. That's all it is. Like, you see how I keep moving the box? I can move this box. If I know that this line here is the relevant one, I know that the box here needs to be over this, but the top of the box needs to be where the top line is. The top of the box needs to be where that purple line is. So when I move it, boom, the box is right there. You see that? The top of the box is equivalent to the purple line. And that represents the relevant strike price that we're observing at the time. So now when you are observing, and this is perfect because the market is inside of the box. So as you're looking now, you see how the market is actually inside of this box right now, right? And all of the candles are in the box. This is exactly why we use the box, because the box helps you to visually see this. Now, I'm only looking at 5 minutes worth of candles right now. There's only 5 candles on the chart right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, actually now 6. It just painted the 6th candle. So right now, the real-time candle is the 6th one, which is this one here. And for purposes of this binary, we're heading into the last minute of this binary coming up on the next one. So all of this activity is showing me what the market is doing leading up to the last minute of this upcoming binary. You see? And the reason that that's important is because whatever the market decides to do in the last minute is going to determine the outcome of the trade if you took a trade on this binary. So, for example, if you were selling, whatever the market does here, where we are right now, is going to determine if you win that trade, because the market has to stay under the line. In other words, the candle has to just stay in the box. So you can see how the visual representation makes it much easier for you to see what the market's actually doing. Now, when the market stabilizes, what the market is telling you is that it's going to remain in the position that it moves into. What the market is also telling you is that it's going to respect the points that it has created along the way. So during the time that the market is creating its area of movement, it's establishing a barrier that it will not move past. It's establishing a barrier that is going to respect. And you'll see it because you'll see the market move to that area multiple times and respect it. So for example, and I'm going to take little circles just to draw so you can see the candles that I'm referring to. If you look at this candle here, right? Look at this one. Let me duplicate the circle. This one. This one. And this one. If you look at all of these candles, all of them actually had the market move up to the area toward the top of the box. And let me move the box away so you can see the purple line. I'm zooming in. So right where you see the purple line, you see how the market moved up there multiple times? It was there here. So this is one. The first one here on the left. Came up. It actually did it again here too, but I didn't even include that one. But it did it here also. So it's really 5. Because it did it here, then it did it on the next one, did it on the next one, and did it on the next one. What is the market doing? The market is respecting the barrier that it created. And because the market is respecting the barrier, a byproduct of that is the clustering of the candles. So even though I'm talking about this now, like I'm going to go into more detail about this when I do the live training, but I'm giving the basic foundation for clusters and why they are important. Now, clusters actually come before the barrier comes. The barrier is establishing itself before the clusters, though. Does that make sense? What I'm saying is that when you say there's a barrier, that means that the barrier has been proven already. That's not the same as saying that, well, a barrier is being created. The barrier is in the process of being created. As the barrier is being created, the market either does it or it does not do it. You can see when the market is attempting to create the barrier, and then you can see after the market does. Now, what's the evidence that the market has created the barrier? The clusters. This is powerful information. This is powerful. And let me just move my box back up. And look at how the market is just continuing to do the same thing. Look, I'm over on the next 5 candles after the ones that we just looked at over here. And look at what the market is still doing. And now look at the positioning of the market. Where's it positioned? And now it's positioned at the bottom of the same box. Look at the candles. The candles are still in the box. But where are they positioned? They're positioned at the bottom. So the market literally doing the same thing now on the bottom that it was doing over here on the top. What's it doing? It is respecting the barrier. What else is it doing? As a consequence of that, it's clustering. What else was already in place? The range. The range. The size of these candles are all inside of the same amount of movement. That's called a range. When you start seeing the market start to move inside of the same area, minute after minute, candle after candle, that's called a range. It's called ranging. So when you put all these pieces together, what this is helping you to recognize and to see is stability in the market. Now look at what happens when I zoom out. When I zoom out, look at how it looks now overall. Just look at how the market looks overall. Like, let me take these dots off. This is pretty much a training right here, by the way. I know I said I'm gonna do another one, but I'm doing it now. Look at how overall it looks. This entire area that we just observed. Overall, how does it look? It looks kind of like stairs going down, right? It looks neat. Looks kind of clean looking. So this is how stability ends up looking. Stability starts to look neat on the chart. Your chart starts to look neat. That's how you know that the market is stabilizing. Many times during these slow, stable periods, you'll also have candles that have wicks on them. And guess what the wicks will do? The wicks will also stay in the range. So you'll have the wicks inside of the same ranges, even though there's wicks on them. So in other words, stability is still present, but the wick just represents the movement during the 1 minute period that you're looking at, where it starts at one point, goes to another point, and then ends back at the point that it started from. And that's what creates the wick on the top, or vice versa, the one that will create the wick on the bottom. But in either instance, even though that wick is present, the wick is taking place inside of all of the conditions that I just mentioned. Range is going on. So that wick is still inside of whatever the range is that's present. And I know that sometimes people get confused and they're like, well, yeah, the market is wicky. Yes, but when is the market is wicky is the question. Because sometimes the wick doesn't represent what it would represent in a slower, stable environment versus a more faster paced, accelerated environment. They're two different things. A lot of times when you see the market beginning to transition into a slower environment, you'll see wicks, because the wicks are showing you that there's still movement going back and forth during the 1 minute candles, during the 1 minute periods, and that the market is not stable yet. But the market could be transitioning into becoming stable. Well, Mark, how do I know when the market is stable? RCB tells you the market is stable. See, this is why I don't teach you anything else. I teach you nothing else because you don't have to know anything else. RCB tells you the market is stable. And then I'm breaking down each part of RCB. That's why I want to do the training on clustering, which I'm actually doing now. I pretty much did it just now when I showed you that example. Let me come over and make sure I didn't miss any comments. Nico, what's going on? I see Carrie, Endell, and Ron Carter. All right, excellent. Let me see something. Hold on. This right here looked like it was valid. This was just at 5 just now. It's indicative. It was at 5, I think. So let's see how this actually ends up setting itself going into the close, because this looks like it is going to end up being MRMH. So let me see. Yeah, this is going to end up being MRMH. And I know that because the market is already stable. So I know that that's going to hold already. So let me go back. Carrie, glad that I get to get in live with you. I miss your nightly training, soaking this up. Thank you for dropping these gems. You know, the pleasure is always mine. Yes, indeed. Yeah, so that was MRMH, I believe. That was what, the 1040. So let me go ahead and post that in the chat. That was the 1040 on the euro. $10.40 on the euro. All right, let me send it to chat 2. All right. Okay, so I posted that in the chat. I'm pretty sure somebody probably has a recording for it also, but if not, it's on the market observation for tonight. I see David said he pulled the trigger, but he had no feel. Okay, very good. See, and this is another thing too. The same way that, like, you see how I'm observing the market right now? The market observation is exactly how you end up in trades that are going to be winning trades. The goal of us trading is not trading. The goal of us trading is us winning our trades. That's it. We're not here to do anything else. I'm not here to just be entering into trades, trade after trade, trade after trade, trade after trade. We're not in trade mode. We in win mode. And in order to be in win mode, you got to be in market mode, because the market is how you'll win. Your understanding of the market is how you're going to win. If you don't understand stability and know the difference between the market being stable versus not being stable, you're not going to consistently win. You will get into trades that end up becoming a coin flip. And when a trade is a coin flip, it means that you might win, you might lose. Instead of trading that way, in my opinion, it's much better to just wait for the trades that you know are going to win, because you understand what the market is doing at the time in order for the market to make that trade win, in order for that to end up being a winning trade. You see the difference? So it requires way more patience. And that's where people probably have their biggest issue, is with patience. They don't want to wait. And because they don't want to wait, they'll end up in trades that make no sense and they'll lose them. What's even worse is they'll end up in trades and some of them will win, and then they'll lose later. So they'll make progress, start building their account up somewhat, and then lose anyway. It's the worst thing, because if you keep doing that over and over again, it does something to you psychologically, and it ain't a good thing. All right, let me come back in the comments. This would be a sign of stability. What we were looking at the time, absolutely. Yep. The barrier already has to be present before the cluster can form. Yes, the barrier is being created before the clusters come. The clusters are the evidence of the barrier being there already. So clusters prove the barrier. Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely got to put respect on it. Ron Carter says elevation. SG, what's good? And Dell says this is powerful. Sadiq, what's good? So it's very important that you understand that these tools are there for a reason, each one of them. And when you try to bypass any part, it's kind of like you trying to exclude one of the tools. You can't build the house properly without all of the tools. You need them all. It's like saying, I got a hammer. I don't need no nails, though. You got a hammer. The hammer's for the nails. The hammer is the barrier. The nails are the clusters. That barrier is banging on them nails. You see? They're one. The reason that the nails are going to go into the wall is because of the hammer. The nails are not doing anything without the hammer. Does that make sense? So it's kind of like saying, oh, well, so there's a barrier, but there's no clusters. No, that doesn't make sense. If you're saying there's a barrier, then there has to be clusters. Because clusters is what is created as the barrier is being created. So it's the proof. Clusters are the proof of work. Put it like that. That's the best way to describe it. The clusters are the proof of work. As a matter of fact, that's an excellent way to describe it. So it's kind of like how people will try to bypass things in the process when you can't bypass anything in the process. You need everything in the process. One thing that I know many people in the group have a hard time with is option pricing. The reason that I don't talk about option pricing that much is because option pricing is the last parameter. Option pricing is the last thing that you have to be concerned about. There's a bunch of things before that that you need to be concerned about. So if you're always focusing on option pricing, guess what happens? You start not focusing on the things that precede option pricing. Am I making sense? Yeah, no, I'm making sense right now. People start focusing on option pricing so much that they don't see that the market ain't stable. Whoa. Hold on. Damn, Mark, why you say that? You know exactly why I said that. You're so busy worrying about option pricing, you don't see that slap coming. The question wasn't, oh, well, was this valid? That's not the question. The question is the market stable here? Put it like this. Anytime that we record, and this is why it's so important that we record and that we share our recordings. It's the documentation. The documentation of what? It's the documentation of your observation. When you record and then you post that in the group, we're now seeing what you're doing. Not only that, we're seeing what you're seeing. So when you're looking, you're like, all right, yeah, this looked pretty good to me. When we look at it, we're like, well, there's no range, there's no clusters, and ain't no barrier. So what is that telling you about what you're seeing? It's letting you know immediately you're in trade mode. You're focusing on pricing and you're trying to look at pricing so that you can figure out how to enter. And you know that that's not how I'm teaching you through the process. That's not how training is teaching you either. So you'll never hear me say that. And you'll never hear any part of the training even push you in that direction. That's just something that you come up with in your own head. Because you want to figure out, well, when do I enter? See, that's always the magic question for people. Well, when do I take the trade? Don't worry about when you're going to take the trade. When you apply this process, you won't have to take the trade. Hold on. Whoa. When you apply the process, you don't have to take anything. The market gives it to you. Yep. You apply this process, you don't got to do anything. Just apply the process, the trade comes. And you'll know that the trade is there because you'll see it. Oh, Mark, well, what about option pricing? Focus on the process. If you notice, a lot of times, many of you will enter into trade without looking at option pricing. And when you do that and you're focusing on the process first, you may or may not be filled. But guess what? Your confidence level is so high when you click in and you've committed, it is what it is. You either get filled or you don't. But the one thing you're not doing is double backing on that click in. You're not regretting that you clicked in, are you? Why not? Because your confidence is there. Well, why is your confidence there? Because you applied the process. See, you got to let the market finish doing whatever it's doing. The market, you may be entered on that trade. You may not be. But the question is not, oh, well, how can I get more fills? How can I get filled on more of my trades? That's not the question. That's not the question. Don't worry about getting filled on more of your trades. Continue to apply the process. And as you continue to do that, eventually your trades will fill. Some of them are going to fill, and that's it. But the question is not, how do I get more trades to fill? The question is, well, am I always fully confident when I click in? That's the question. See, you're not clicking in because you're wondering if you'll get filled or not. Hold on. Whoa. Whoa. You're not clicking in hoping or wondering if you're going to get a fill. That's not your reason for clicking in. What's your reason for clicking in? The process. Execution of the process is your reason for clicking in. Just like you'll hear me say many times, yeah, I see that +1 is bang. Now, I'm not saying I see that +1 at any time and it's bang. What am I talking about? I'm only applying parameters when RCB is there. That's when I'm talking about that +1. No other time. Make sense? So you have to know what it is that you're talking and referring to. What you're talking about and referring to. Your confidence has to be connected to the click. This is what it is. It's the same reason why people be scared to scale up. Why are you scared to scale up? The trade is the same. You think it's a different trade because you got more contracts on it? It's the same trade. Again, what's the question though? Am I confident in the click? That's the question. Me clicking in is going to only be because the market is stable. And the market gave me this trade that I'm clicking into. I may or may not be filled on the trade. We'll see. Not, oh, well, let me click in earlier to try to get in. What are you talking about? Let me click in before the +1. Because it's pricing. I got to catch the pricing. We don't do that. Nope. Sometimes you guys will see videos for a binary that somebody may have entered. And you'll notice I'm not in the trade. Like you didn't see me post for it. You ever wonder why that is? There are times when you guys are in trades that I attempted to get into and I didn't because I didn't get filled. But I still recognize the trade. I still recognize the right time. And I still recognize that you were on point. I don't even talk about it. You won't even hear me say, oh yeah, I tried to get into that one too, but I didn't get filled. You won't hear me say anything. The only thing I'll respond to is whatever you're actually posting in the group. I'm only going to respond to what you did. You see? And of course, many times it'll be the other way around. I'll be in the trade, and some of you may have attempted to click in. And you'll say it. Yeah, I tried to get into that one too, but I didn't get filled. And I want you to say it. I want you to tell me. Because what you're really telling me is, yeah, I saw it, Mark. I was with you. Synergy. That's what you're really saying. I saw that too. I'm there. Yep, that was valid. That's solid. See, we're in agreement because we're applying the process in agreement. See, this is how the group is elevating. This is good stuff, man. This is good stuff. Aron said, I was pushing in the trades a couple of days ago, but TA got me right. He had to repent. Yeah, I remember that day. Yeah, matter of fact, I remember he messaged me too right after. He was like, yeah, man, I was doing too much. You're right. But see, that's the thing. Imagine if he never shared. Hold on. Imagine if he never posted in the group. He would still be doing shit. Right? Still doing shit, still fucking up. And still wondering, like, well, oh, man, damn, what's going on? I don't think this works. This TA stuff don't work. I'm supposed to win these trades. Who knows? And I'm just being extreme. I know he wouldn't say that, but I'm just saying. Somebody that would not, or that is not sharing but doing it wrong, they'll keep doing it wrong until they get exhausted. Or because you're not sharing. This is why this is all a part of everything that we do in the group. This is a part of what you're supposed to be doing, recording and observation. Record your observation, share in the group chat, get feedback, give feedback. This is how you grow. Because if you're not growing, it means that you're remaining stagnant, but you might be stagnant at the wrong place. What if you're stagnant where you don't need to be? You'll keep repeating the dumb shit that you don't need to do. Right? Yep. So, very true, man. There it is. There it is. We only clicking in because of stability. Bang. That's it. Right. Would have been lost. Exactly. As many people often are. Femi Sin, what's happening? Chedrick, what's happening? Walker, what's happening? Yep. So this is, these are the cycles that people often will go through before they finally submit. And it's like, well, damn, what you mean submit? You got to submit. You don't got to submit to me, but you do submit to the process, though. You have to submit to the process because the process is the byproduct of the market. And you got to submit to the market. So submitting to the process is the equivalent of submitting to the market because the market gave us the process. So if you don't submit to that, it means you're doing something else. And whatever the something else is that you're doing is going to be a coin flip. It'll win sometimes and it'll lose sometimes. And when you lose, you don't know why. That's a problem. That's a big problem. So you don't want to put yourself in that position and you don't want, to end up there. Not by any means. So we're not even going to, begin to create bad habits and do silly stuff. Nope. Just do the process the right way. Lock in. And when you lock in, everything will flow. So most of this has to do more than anything with you allowing the process to do what it does. You understand? Just like I was talking earlier about the RCB. RCB is a part of the process. It's part of the process. Now, there are mechanics that come after you have seen RCB manifest visually on the chart. Those mechanics being, of course, the parameters and then ultimately ending up in the trade. Or at least executing the process that will put you into the trade. Because you may or may not be filled on the trade. many of you, of course, are you're getting to see for yourself. Oh, well, sometimes I get filled, sometimes I don't. Right. Because it's a real market. It's not a fake market. So it's not like, oh, you get filled on everything at all times. No. It's a market. It means somebody is on the other side of the transaction. Somebody is trying to basically take your $80. But if they don't know if they don't know the market better than you, what they're going to do is instead of taking your 80, they're going to give you 20. That's what's going to happen. See? They know that they traded with somebody on TA if they lost $20. I'm just saying. Like, damn, that was TA. I know that was somebody on TA. Yep. No, I'm joking, but I mean, it kind of is like that, though. Femi said, I like the previous comment by Shiny. Stability is the parent and parameters are the kids. Absolutely. Oh, I missed that. I didn't even see Shiny's comment. Oh, right here. Yep. Parameters are the kids. That's very good. And what happens when the kids try to be the grown-ups? What happens when the kids try to be the grown-ups? There you have it. Fit, what's going on? Mr. Johnson, what's happening? Yeah, so I mean, it's very simple. And see, like, this is where the patience comes in. Like here, for example, you see how this market is looking right now. Market is stable. Market is stable, and the market's out of position. So there's no trade that has been presented to us yet. So what you going to do about that? See, patience means you're not going to do anything. You're going to continue to observe. Trade mode is somebody trying to enter the trade with 3 minutes left on the clock. When the market looks like this, I'm going to take this early. And that's not how you are conditioned and trained to execute the process. You haven't been trained to do that. What are you doing? See, it'd be different if that's what you do. If that's what you do and you understand that dynamic, that's one thing, but that's not what you do. So anytime you try to deviate away from what you do, that's when you turn everything that you're doing into a coin flip. It might work, it might not. Instead of just waiting for what you know will work. Yeah, this is good tonight. This is good. David Johnson, what's happening? Jay Carter said, we are on the other side. That's right. That's right. You trying to take $80? Nah, let me get that 20, bro. Thank you. I have excellent risk reward. Okay. You do have excellent risk reward. And guess what? You keep giving it to me. Thank you. I'll take it. Oh, man. Yeah, this is good stuff, though. I keep meaning to reply back to this guy right here. What the heck was that? What the hell happened to the daggone window, man? What is that? The whole window. Hold on, let me see if I can open it up on the phone. Damn. Yo, Facebook be acting crazy, yo. I'm getting real tired right now. You're getting sleepy. Okay. All right. So I fixed that. What that was about. Um right. Reginald, he said, picture giving up $20 every time you trade to an unknown ghost. Indeed. Femi's son, little drops of $20 make a fat account balance consistently over time. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Especially through what we do as far as scaling up. It's crazy. It's crazy what you are capable of doing here on the NADEX platform. It's powerful, man. It's powerful. For the same trade that you know, at one point you were taking a trade with one contract. You're going to reach a point where you taking a trade with 100 contracts, 200, 300 contracts. And the trade is the same. Same trade. Same dynamic. That's powerful. That's powerful, man. Maui Jeff, RCB has changed the game, makes life so easy, almost takes the thinking out of it. 100%. 100%. And it definitely takes the emotion out of it. See, like you have to emotionally detach in order to do everything in trading efficiently. You can't be emotional at all about anything. And when you detach, it allows you to just simply execute a process that you're learning. Like when you're emotionally invested in something, even when you notice something is what you should be doing, you don't do it. And then when you know it's something you should not be doing, you do it. It's like, what the hell is that? That's your emotions. Your emotions make you do stupid shit, and your emotions hold you back from doing what you're supposed to do. Right? It's like it's ass back. It's just backwards. But that's why you have to detach, because you can't have that going on. You need to be able to be focused. Yep. Shawnee, Mark, you made it very clear visually by saying when stability is present, the market looks clean, not messy with a bunch of wild behavior. We like market looking nice and neat. Yes. Yep. 100%. 100%. That's probably the best thing or the best way that I've described it probably ever. Yep, I agree. Because it's simple. It's like if the market looks messy, it is messy. And if it's messy, do you want to be in the trade? Do you want to be in any trade when the market is messy? That's the question. See? Because if you're willing to be in the market when it's messy, that's the equivalent of you being in trade mode because you're trying to get into a trade, even though the market looks messy. Nah, we're not doing that. Nope. We gonna wait for the housekeeper to come clean up. Yep. Bilal, what's going on? Oh man. Oh, that's the first of many. First of many yawns to come. It's a no for me. Right. Don't need shit else stressing you. Indeed. Yeah, I like this. Femi said, messy trade, messy trader, messy mind. Indeed. I like this too. The market got to be my piece. Facts. Fact. Isn't that do you ever realize the satisfaction and the joy that you experience when you click into your trade that the market is giving to you without any second thought at all? You know that you're going to win. You know how good that feels? It feels good to click in and you know you're going to win. It feels great. You know that you're going to win because you know why you clicked in. Hold on. Come on, man. You know you're going to win because you know why you clicked in. All right. Yeah, that might be the drop right there. That might be the mic drop right there. Mr. Ron, what's going on? Bilal said it feels like taking candy from a baby. Yes, it does. Reginald Brown says sounds like peace to me. Yep. J. Carly, more than that, the knowing that you know what you're observing is everything. Bingo. Bingo. And Orion says essentials. That's it. Yes, the why. There you go. There it is. Look at this. Why you're not clicking in. That right there like deserves a whole podcast, kind of. Why not clicking in is so important. Why not taking a trade is so important. It's like as you learn how to navigate your way through all of this, the same way it feels when you click in, it feels great when you don't click in. It feels good when you click off. Like you ever had a ticket open, right? You might be doing your observation or whatever. You might open up the ticket, and as soon as you see the market ain't there yet, you just close it. That feels great. It feels good because it feels good to know that you know. It's like, well, why'd you do that? It ain't there yet. Come on, man. Come on, man. See, so as you know, especially when you're just starting out in training, you're learning that part first. You're not learning what to do first. You're learning what not to do first. Like you learning the commandments of what not to do. Thou shalt not. That's what you're learning first. And as you begin to understand that and you develop obedience to the commandments, what to do comes automatically. Like, okay, I know not to do this. So that means I should be doing this right here. Yep. Yep. I should be waiting. It's good stuff, man. Yep. It is good stuff. All right, so this is pretty good, man. I think I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm mad tired. I'm about to go to bed. I'm about to tuck in under my covers early. For real, for real. All right, y'all. So listen, so tonight's recommended trainer will be this one. I'll mention this also in the group chat. This will be the recommended trainer for tonight, which I believe is live market observation number 24, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I believe so. I like this right here. Look what Johnny said. He said, this trading style makes me a better person in patience. Look at that. The light bulb's going off already. Yeah, Johnny is new to the team. But the light bulb's popping off already. Nice. All right, y'all. Y'all know what it is, man. Mark Fuller, TeamAlliance, live market observation. I will see you guys on the next podcast or coffee and charts or whatever I'm doing. All right, we out. Deuces. Dom de Marco. Dom de Marco.